From the heart of Philly, this is CBS News Philadelphia. Now at 8, drying out after yesterday's pouring rain. Runners in the Love Run are making their way through the course right now. And Chief Meteorologist Bill Kelly is here to track our next weather system.
Plus, rainy, cold conditions made it a lot harder to search for a missing 6-year-old girl who was swept away in the Chester Creek last night. I'll set the scene for you in a live report as rescue crews get ready to resume their search once again this morning.
And new this morning, no winners in last night's massive Powerball jackpot. How high that jackpot climbs now.
Today is Sunday, March 24th. Good morning, everyone. I'm Jan Carabeo.
And I'm Howard Monroe. Thank you so much for joining us on your Sunday morning. Let's get right on over to Chief Meteorologist Bill Kelly, who is in for Tammy Sousa with a look at your next weather forecast.
Beautiful morning. Good morning to you guys. It's cold. That's what we're looking at in terms of your weather story right now, but such an improvement over what we had yesterday. So because of that, I want to start you out with a couple of cameras around the region. A gorgeous start, all locations, not just Philadelphia. Let's look at Margate. Obviously looking to the north, you see the sunlight that has come out above the clouds that is out there from our weather system that we had yesterday. We take you to Lehigh Valley around Bethlehem. A couple of folks out jogging this morning. A lot of folks out running this morning in Philadelphia as that half marathon, as you mentioned, going on right now. And a deceptively beautiful shot here, gorgeous shot of the skyline. Not a cloud to be found, some trees in bloom, but you walk out and it feels more like January than knocking on the door of April. 32 degrees, that's the temperature right now. Feels like 27, and that 32, one of the warmer temperatures around the region. So the race, 32 right now. Folks are running 34 degrees at 9 o'clock, 37 by 10. I mean, we're keeping it in the 30s probably through 10:30, 11 o'clock. I mean, maybe jumping up to 40 degrees then. Our high temperature today warms to 49, so it's going to be below normal. The normal for today is now 56 degrees, so well below normal, but it will be sunny. It'll be a little bit breezy, and it'll be cool. I imagine I speak for the most part, all of you when I say we take the breezy and cool with the sunshine versus the rain and wind yesterday. Yeah, a no-brainer, right? Beautiful day. It's going to be nicer on Monday. It'll be a little bit warmer, but you do not have to worry about any weather-related issues today. Have your sunglasses with you. You'll want it all day long. Good travel weather as well. Our next weather maker is in sight. Break it down for you coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Bill, thanks so much. Back to our top story at this hour in Delaware County. Rescue crews are resuming their search for a 6-year-old girl who was swept away into the fast-moving water of Chester Creek.
CBS News Philadelphia's Ross DeMattei is joining us live now from Delaware County, where that search just resumed. Ross.
Hey, Howard and Jan. Yeah, it looks like rescue crews are getting ready to resume that search any minute now. We've already seen a drone operator here on scene flying a drone over the scene, as well as a Coast Guard helicopter circling above. And the Delaware County Emergency Response Unit just arrived here on scene. So again, it looks like any minute now they will resume the search for 6-year-old Lin'Ajah Brooker, who went missing last night after getting swept away in those fast-moving waters of the Chester Creek. Let's go over the backstory here of what exactly happened, how she was swept away into those waters. As we show you some video from last night's search, there was quite a large response to this news. Swift water rescue crews were out here in boats looking for this little girl after her aunt says she was playing at a park with a group of kids and slipped into the Chester Creek because it was really rainy, very muddy out. That's when a 12-year-old boy ran to get help, and the little girl's family immediately called 911. So rescue crews are using drones with infrared and thermal imaging technology. The Coast Guard is also involved, like I mentioned, but conditions last night were really challenging. It was dark and cold. Visibility was very limited. Nearly 3 inches of rain fell in Chester yesterday, so the creek's current was really strong. And the creek reached moderate flood stage yesterday afternoon, so there was a lot of debris in the water as well. We spoke with the aunt of the missing girl, who is now praying that Lin'Ajah will be found alive and safe.
They was down there playing, and she went down a little too far with the other kids, and my 7-year-old daughter tried to hold her, and she was holding on to my daughter's coat, and I guess the wind took her. It would be terrifying for me, and I'm 40. She's 6. So I'm quite sure she's terrified.
You can imagine she is absolutely terrified, or was absolutely terrified. Rescue crews were out for hours yesterday, but had to suspend their search overnight. They made that decision right around 10:30 last night. The plan is to start up right about now. We are starting to see more and more emergency crews arrive on scene. So again, any minute now they will resume their search for Lin'Ajah Brooker and probably take to the water in Chester Creek right next to me. Of course, we'll be here for all of it, and we'll bring you live updates as we get them. I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
We appreciate your coverage, Ross. Thank you.
Thank you, Ross. Meanwhile, across the bridge in South Jersey, there were flooding problems throughout the area after that day long of downpours. Part of Route 130, the Brookline Circle in Camden County, was under a few inches of water yesterday afternoon. And then on the other side of Camden County, this section of the White Horse Pike near Fleming Pike in Winslow Township, it was closed because of flooding as well. We saw crews working to clear out drains along the road to get that water to move out.
In Burlington County now, this was the scene in Delco Township. Flooded backyards were a common sight during the heavy rain, and there was ponding on some roads in the area as well yesterday. Flooding is an even bigger issue for those who live along the Delaware River. Neighbors had to set out pumps and they used gates to protect their property from debris that can often wash up during high tide.
Seems like the flooding issues are getting worse. And that chain link fence held back a lot of debris. So that worked out pretty well for us, but it doesn't solve the problem.
Township and county officials were considering closing the Riverside Delco Bridge, but ultimately did not because conditions there started to improve. And while some people chose to stay indoors to wait out those wet conditions, as you can see here, others still found a way to enjoy the day. And you can check out the next weather forecast anytime. Just head to cbsphiladelphia.com/weather to see the 7-day forecast, live radar, and much more.
And moving overseas now, the death toll is now above 130 after gunmen opened fire on a concert hall in Moscow on Friday. The Islamic State in Afghanistan has claimed responsibility, but Russian President Vladimir Putin is also pointing his finger at Ukraine. CBS News correspondent Wendy Gillette has more from New York.
Tears, flowers, and candles honor the victims of the concert hall terror attack in Moscow. A makeshift memorial outside Krakow City Hall keeps getting larger. Elsewhere in the city, long lines formed at blood donation centers. This blood donor says she was shocked by the attack and felt fear and horror. The Red Cross was overwhelmed by all those who showed up and urged donors to return this week. Smoke rose from the concert hall, which the attackers set on fire, as crews inside started the long process of clearing debris. Russian President Vladimir Putin addressed the nation, calling the attack a bloody, barbaric terror act. He also said the attackers tried to escape to Ukraine and that there were preparations to let them cross the border. Kyiv strongly denied any involvement and said it was an attempt to increase support for Russia's war against Ukraine. Putin promised punishment for the attackers and called for a day of mourning today. Wendy Gillette, CBS News.
To March Madness now. The season comes to an end for the Princeton women's basketball team.
The Tigers falling to the West Virginia Mountaineers in the first round of the women's NCAA tournament, 63-53. Fans, they say they were proud of what the women accomplished despite this tough loss.
It's been really amazing to be able to be at a school with a really thriving program during this point. I mean, this is not the ending we hoped for.
I love the women's basketball team. They're a great group of girls, and they just have been phenomenal all year.
Next year, they're aiming to make it to the tournament for, get this, the 6th year in a row. We'll have highlights of the Princeton game and reaction from the team coming up in sports. And this week, there have been at least 2 huge lottery drawings up for grabs.
Let's start with Powerball. No one won last night's jackpot. Here we go again. So the next drawing on Monday will be worth just about $800 million. Check your tickets, though. You may still have won a smaller prize. The winning numbers: 6, 23, 25, 34, 51 with a Powerball of 3.
And as for the Mega Millions, Tuesday's drawing is now worth $1.1 billion. The cash option would come out to just about $526 million. If someone were to win on Tuesday, it would be the 8th largest win in U.S. lottery history. Good luck to all of you who play. And if you're looking to add a furry friend to the family, PetSmart Charities and the Brandywine Valley SPCA are partnering for special in-store adoption events today. It's all part of PetSmart's National Adoption Week. Puppies, kittens, dogs, and cats looking for their forever homes will be on hand from 11 to 4 this afternoon at the PetSmart in Plymouth Meeting, as well as the PetSmart in Millsboro, Delaware. And get this, it is a National Cheesesteak Day, and Delco Steaks of Broomall is celebrating with a cheesesteak bowl at the Marple Public House at noon. More than 40 people, get this, they will try to devour as many Delcos as they can in 10 minutes. That is a 1-foot-long cheesesteak with 10 ounces of ribeye on it. In addition to bragging rights, the winner will get a championship belt and cash prizes. Delco Steaks will also donate a portion of the proceeds to Headstrong Foundation, which it supports families affected by cancer.
I would need to fast for a week to compete in that.
Yeah, and then afterwards, yeah, I wouldn't be hungry for a week.
Yeah, good luck to them, though. Should be
Absolutely.
fun. Next at 8 o'clock, Delaware lawmakers approve a plan that legalizes an alternative to burial or cremation, but it is also sparking controversy. How it works and why it's causing so much debate.
And air traffic controllers in Philadelphia are taking up more responsibility to prevent congestion on the East Coast. We have the plans and when it takes effect.